Hi guys and welcome to another rambling, and in case you are wondering, yes, this one is a little bit earlier even though it's quite late here. It's around 10 p.m. right now. I just came home after a long day and I am quite tired, but I wanted to get this rambling done today because tomorrow I will be quite busy with the review of the Huawei MediaPad, and just in case you are wondering, it could be a little bit more casual and calm because I am sitting back here, which you can usually not see so much, but I am completely leaned back with the feet on the air, and I want to keep this really in a nice mood because I am a little bit tired, so just keep that in mind. This should keep me razor pinpoint focused though on the topics. Not really, but still, I have a lot of topics and I definitely want to talk about those because I have quite a few interesting ones. So let's actually start with the first one. That is a feedback or a kind of response on my last video that I did a topic about the sellouts. The first thing that I want to address, the sellouts topic. Could I have handled it more maturely? Yes, pretty much. Could I have handled it maybe a little bit with less of offending someone? Yes, pretty much. I'm sure of that. But the way it turned out, and because the main premise of these videos was never to really think about what I'm saying, but just to say what I want to say, just what I have on mind, and that's all it. And I had to grab with that, and I talked about that. Sure, I could have handled it a little bit more responsible, not to maybe attack someone so directly, but in the end, it's still the one thing that I just wanted to address. But the actual thing that I wanted to talk about, since I did that, what I want to make sure once again to properly point out is, and here's my topic note that I wrote down just to see what I thought when I wrote that sellout comment. Do good guys justify bad videos, and what makes someone a good guy? So the point of this topic would be, the guy I talked last time about, I think is a genuinely legit guy, really okay, and there are a lot of other people that I think are really cool if you know them behind the scenes and are good guys. But I'm not so quite sure if it's okay to give them a pass if they do these lame sponsored videos, because from the comments that I got on this topic, everyone agreed with me. Those sponsored videos are lame, they are very biased, they are just to make a quick buck of money. Yeah, so you get it. And I personally, I unsubscribed him, which I did last time already say, but the thing is, I personally have a hard time justifying it, because if the main content is what it is, I am not so sure if that's good enough. And what actually makes a good guy? Is he a bad guy, even though he's really nice and all that, but does this, what I think is bad content, so does it make him maybe a bad guy? And what makes someone a good guy? Can someone who's really legit but makes odd content still be a good guy? Let me know in the comments. And just so you know, I will continue pointing out those flaws that I see, that I personally think are flaws, that I see on YouTube, or I think in general in the reviewer scene. Even though I could step on a few toes, I am okay with that. I don't really care because I have nothing to lose. I am not that deep that I could lose anything. I don't really care about that. I want, and maybe I have too high morals. Maybe I'm also at a point where I just can't get all that because I haven't got any of these offers yet. I haven't maybe even gotten the chance, and maybe I would sell out myself. I can't say, and it's a little bit hypocritical for me to talk about that in a way that I do. But I personally think I wouldn't do it, and of course, mostly because of my style, no one would pay me money for that, because if someone of these guys, I mean the brands and all that usually sponsor, watch any of these ramblings, they would say, what the fuck, why should we pay this moron something to talk about our products if he talks smack about them afterwards, or in general isn't a guy who's really credible or someone who is influential, because they want influential guys, and I'm definitely not influential into buying something. So yeah, that's it. Okay, let's not get too deep into that. Let me know your comments, but I will keep doing what I do as long as I enjoy it, and if I step on some toes, that is okay for me. So the next topic would be not sure if I'll even root my S7. It does almost all root would be necessary. Now, I by chance forgot to get my Z3 because I wanted to get it and compare just quick to see what I'm actually missing out if I don't have root, because on my S7 right now I got pretty much all I want from it. I even got a chance to make the DPI small, even though that doesn't work out for me because of SwiftKey, because SwiftKey is too small. Everything else would be fine, and I already talked to or commented on a SwiftKey post that I wanted an even bigger keyboard setting layout, but they never responded, and so I don't think that's gonna happen, because on a normal phone it would be big enough, but the S7 in my opinion already has a little bit of a smaller DPI in general, and the keyboard is just about in the biggest setting big enough for me, so that's not a legit reason. And the rest I really got to work. I have all my apps set up, all my gestures work, all my apps work, Do Not Disturb works, notification LED works, even though I have a little bit of an odd bug for right now where my phone keeps buzzing if I have a notification like every 30 seconds or every minute or so, and I have no idea why. I think I caused it by myself because it didn't do it for the first week, so I think maybe light flow has something to do with that. But yeah, so I was always the one big proponent about rooting, and I would still like to reroute it, but the odd issue for me right now is I spent already so much time customizing this phone, getting it set up with all the apps and all that, but I have not rooted it. But I usually did with every phone that I got, I rooted it right from the start, so I don't lose anything up because I start fresh on a new phone, it's fine. But since this one is already so customized, I don't want to get through all of that. I would have to make everything once again manually and all that, and I don't want to, because root is available as far as I got. Maybe I will wait about it a little bit until it's a little bit more secure, but it is there, and I definitely still kind of want it. But do I need it? Because for example, if I use naked browser, I can quite easily have an ad blocker running there, because there is a kind of blacklist in the app that you can use to get the ads blocked in the app. That is fine. For YouTube, I have no ad blocker, which is fine, because I'm okay with supporting the guys that make the videos, because I would appreciate if anyone does the same for me. So that is no issue for me. And in the apps, I don't really care about ads, because most of my apps are paid, so I don't have any ads. So the rest is fine, so I don't really need it for that. And all the customization I got done without root. So I'm pretty much fine without exposed or root or custom ROM or exposed features or all that. So still, I would like to know, do you still root? Do you want it? And if it's still a feature? And I know a lot of people in my feed are Nexus diehard, Nexus users with customers and all that. And they say, I need it. And I totally stand behind it. If I would have a Nexus phone, there would be no chance in hell I wouldn't use a custom ROM. I would definitely, because this is the one reason why I still would love to have a Nexus, but the Nexus 6P was just too big for me. So I really hope this camera angle isn't too odd. It looks a bit odd for me here, because it's just the wrong angle looking at me. It looks like, I don't know. Okay, the next thing would be S7, Galaxy S7, camera, battery, performance differences. Okay, let's start with the performance differences first. In the US, they have the Snapdragon 820, and in Europe and Asia and all that, all these countries, they have the Exynos. So, from what I read from the internet, I can already judge on that, the Exynos seems to actually be the slightly better real-life performer, because on all the reviews I've seen from US people who have the Snapdragon 820, they all say they have TouchWiz lag. They still have this Samsung lag, and I on this phone really don't see any lag. The few lag or the little lag that I see is absolutely caused by the apps. I'm absolutely sure on that, and only, for example, the browsers just aren't super smooth, but I really don't see anything that I would call TouchWiz lag. So I think the Exynos does a better job here than the Snapdragon 820 does. So that's the first difference. The other difference would be In terms of battery life, yesterday I read an article that the Exynos is supposed to deliver 30% more battery life. Once again, I can't say I just know the Exynos version, but if that would be true, because let's say I get about 4.5 hours of screen on time on the S7, 30% less, that already wouldn't be great battery life anymore, because they said, yeah, either way it's not bad because the battery life is still good. But if I would have had 30% less of these 4.5 hours, or let's even say 5 hours, this wouldn't be good anymore. And that for me, maybe would already be a deal breaker. I can't really say for sure, but if you have a Snapdragon 820 device, an S7, I'm talking about an S7, not the S7 Edge, then let me know what kind of screen on time you get, because I would like to know that. And the last thing is the differences in terms of the camera sensor, because yesterday I thought it was 2 sensors, because there was supposed to be a Samsung ISOCELL, the Sony one, and there seems to be even a Toshiba sensor, but I think most of them are just down to those two, the ISOCELL and the Sony. I checked mine, I have the Sony. What I got from there, a comparison on Android Authority was there. It said the Sony seems to be slightly sharper. If that's already the case, then I'm absolutely baffled, because my pictures that I took, and you can check them on Google+, I did a comparison with the A3, aren't sharp at all. They're actually quite soft, something I don't like, and that's why I'm actually quite disappointed in the camera so far. And what is super noticeable, pictures, especially the colors and the color temperature, are completely off the charts. And when I did this side-by-side comparison, you can see the A3, which really has accurate colors. This is what it is supposed to be. But the pictures that I did on the S7, they look like I was under a really heavy yellow sun, and everything seems way too kind of sunny or bright or just too nice, and that's definitely not realistic at all. I personally don't have an issue if a picture is artificially beautified, but I definitely don't want it that extreme on the Samsung S7. And still, my main gripe is the sharpness, especially selfies. I am super glad that I'm not into selfies. I don't really care about those, but when I did the comparison for the review, those shots were shit. No, let's say flagship shit, or flag shit, because when I compared it to the A3 was so much sharper, so much more details in my beard or in my hair, in my face and all that. And the S7 on its own, if I would have seen just that picture, I would have said it's okay. But side by side, seeing that the A3 is so much sharper really disappointed me. And the Sony is supposed to be the sharper one. Oh, I don't know. And the colors, I don't know. They really have to make a bug fix here and improve that. That's absolutely not okay. The next topic would be, does display size impact your decision or the price range? Because this is something very odd for me, because so many times I get a question and someone asking, should I buy this phone or should I buy this phone? And most of the times I noticed one thing, they are in the same price range, but sometimes there is like 0.5 inches of display size in between, and they ask me which phone I would recommend them, and I personally always say I would go for the smaller one. Just because of that, because that already would be enough of an impact for the decision for me. But so many people are just looking for the price, and I see, because there are some phones that I would really like to have, but just the size alone, it's above 5.5 inches, it's done for me. I don't really care personally as my main phone. And I would consider the size to be the first factor, because I have 10 phones, I can immediately dismiss all of the 5.5 inches and above. And the price would be the second factor that I would weigh in. But so many people really just think about the value. What can I get for, let's say, $300? What's the best phone? And they don't care if it's a 5-incher or a 6-incher, which is odd to me. Do you think the same? Is it really just the price? And then maybe just, or even not at all, the display size? This is something that I absolutely can't get on my own. Maybe I'm a little bit too nitpicky just on the size. But that's why I need your comments to get that. Maybe this will help me answer those questions a little bit better. Because what I usually say is size, that's something you have to decide. And then I give him still all the objective opinions that I have on those devices. But still, it's odd to see. The next thing would be, what does a flagship need to differentiate itself from the mid-range? And that is actually a question that I kind of got from a comment, because I made the review of the Samsung Galaxy A5 2016, and someone posted to me, now if this phone is already so great, we have the flagship level display, the flagship level build quality, the really good sound, the almost flagship level camera, I would even dare to say flagship level camera, and the battery life was even better than flagship level. So if that phone is already that good that it could pretty much be, maybe just not because of the performance, a flagship, what does a flagship have to offer or to have to differentiate itself from the mid-range? And I think most people agreed in the comments that it's pretty much down to the camera for it now. They say, yes, there is still a lot of improvements to make for the brands or for a product to be worth buying so much, to justify so much more money, which would be the camera. So I think a lot of people, if they would have the same device and they would maybe pay like $100 or $200 even more, I think so, after all the comments, just to get the better camera. So is it really just the camera alone that justifies differentiation enough between a flagship and a mid-range? For me personally, that's not enough. What I see the differences is still performance. If you have a flagship, there is still a noticeable difference in terms of performance. Also, the build quality usually was the Galaxy A's 2016 series really leveled that, because the A3 and the A5, if I wouldn't have known the price, I would have said, yeah, that's a flagship, because it doesn't feel any less substantial, any less premium, just in terms of build quality compared to the S7, which is the flagship. Battery life was even crushing this one here. So it's pretty much mostly down on these phones to the performance, and not even that much so much about the camera, because for right now I would almost choose that one. And it looks like my iPad just died. Did it die? Yes. So I have no idea how long the video can go. That was really not that smart. Now I'm screwed. Let me check if I can actually... That is unfortunate. This is shit. So, okay, now let's talk a topic, and I have to just make it ready to finish it in about 10 minutes, because that's the last time I checked the time. So, the next thing would be, all UIs are good enough. Personally, that's what I think, because I saw a poll on Google Plus, someone asking which of these UIs is the best one or is good enough. That was like the Sony UI, LG, Samsung, Motorola. They were all listed there, and I looked at that and I posted it. I reposted it, and I said, in my opinion, they are all good enough by now, because I'm using right now the LG K10. In terms of UI, absolutely fine. I'm using the S7, absolutely fine. I've used a bunch of Huawei devices, absolutely fine. Sony, absolutely fine. I don't really have any complaints about them anymore. They do the job. They are on a functionality level, at least on stock, if not above Android, stock Android and above. So, yeah, I don't think they are bad anymore. I know everyone will say, yes, TouchWiz is still shit. Touch shit or whiz shit whiz, yeah, let's call it shit whiz, is still bad. It's still laggy, and I see this from so many people talking about that the first couple of months any Samsung device performs great, and then it starts lagging. And this is something that I'm really interested to see here on the S7, if that's really the case, because for now I never used the phone more than 2 weeks at the time, a Samsung device, so I can't say if it will start lagging or not. And I'm really interested, because right now, at this time, I don't see any lag at all. None worth mentioning. So let me know which one or which UI is the one that you would say is good enough for you, acceptable enough, and which one is totally unacceptable. And I'm pretty sure most of you will answer, let's say Motorola is good enough and Samsung is not good enough. And I think a lot of people will also maybe not like so much what LG has to offer, even though I like them both. I like the Samsung a little bit more because to the nicer looks, because of the theme engine, I can make things work really, really nice. The next thing would be security updates overhyped. I had a little bit of a discussion with someone because there was someone pointing out that certain devices just don't get the updates, and that's bad because of security and all that. And I told the guy, I think all of the security updates are actually completely overhyped. I don't really think it's that something huge or a crucial thing, because it's an Android phone. Is it really that vulnerable? Because I've never known anyone, I've never had a virus on my own, a Trojan horse or anything like that. And I think that this is hype created by, I'm not sure who, the media, the hackers, the reviewers, the commenters. I don't really know, and I personally don't see it. And then I got a little bit of a snarky comment, and someone said, yes, you maybe don't have anything important on your phone, but I do. So I kind of thought, once I read that comment, I thought, come on, it's a phone. Are you, not sure who that was, that important that someone would make the effort to try to hack your phone, get your stuff? Come on, don't think you are something that special. At least I don't think so, because I don't have anything compromising on my phone. The next topic would be bottom navigation bar material design. Well, in case you didn't understand, bottom navigation bar material design guidelines. So the new guideline is to have at the bottom a navigation bar similar to what Google Plus already has, so apps can be easier navigated through with the bottom, with the settings at the bottom, with the most crucial stuff at the bottom. And I said bottoms quite often. This video is so bad. I'm not sure when I did the last rambling where I thought like 10 times already I should have stopped and started over, but I don't start these over, but you get it. So the navigation bar material design, do you think it's a good idea? Because I personally don't like it so much what they did with Google Plus. What it was before, I like the idea of the bottom navigation bar, but I'm pretty sure that third-party apps will actually integrate it better than Google did, because I like the base idea, but how it's actually implemented in terms of functionality on Google Plus, I don't see. Because if I right now go into Google Plus and check the bottom bar, what do I have? I have home, collections, communities, and notifications. I'm good with home, I'm good with notifications, but I don't ever use collections and I don't ever use communities. So they could have at least made it a little bit customizable, so I could choose if I want those at the bottom or not. Maybe a hint: if someone makes an app, make it customizable, the navigation bar, because the navigation bar itself is great, but only if handled well. And there is so much potential in that, even though I'm not quite so sure if you have a navigation bar on screen, if that's maybe not too close and you will miss hit. Because if you have capacitive buttons or all that, I don't think it will be an issue, and it doesn't look so out of place. But no, it's fine. After all, I used the Sony Xperia Z3 with on-screen buttons, and I didn't really bother anyone about it. It's fine. The next thing would be the shout out of the week, and that one goes to the Tech Chap. Go check out his channel. I just found his channel like a month ago. I really like his content. He makes nice, fresh tech content in a really satisfying way to look at, because he seems very open, very skilled. I really like it. Definitely give it a check. So, what's coming soon? The S7 review is still coming at some point, and it will be really in-depth. So, I will need a little bit longer for that. The LG K10, the LG K4, the Huawei MediaPad review should be ready on Saturday, and then there will be the Dell Venue 8 Pro 5855. I got the lowest end model, not so happy with that. I actually expected to get the full HD version with 4GB of RAM. I just got 2GB with 1280 by 800. I'm not that happy with that one yet, but yes, I admit it. I totally fucked up this rambling. It's really odd. Maybe I shouldn't have done this after work. Being a little bit tired, being a little bit confused. Because what I noticed, that I, at the beginning of these ramblings, have a hard time a little bit actually talk properly. because maybe I have too many things in my mind, I have nothing in my head at that point, or I don't know. And I would really like to know how long this video is going, so sorry. I know this was really odd. Please forgive me for this horrible rambling, but I swore myself I would never censor it, I would never restart it. It's pretty much live. It's pretty much uncut, unfiltered, and that is what it is. I hope you can still get past that and maybe turn out next week, and I hope I will be able to deliver something proper, because yes, this one was not my most I don't know, sorry, but I still wish you a nice weekend, and if you appreciate all that I do, it would be really nice if you leave me a nice comment, maybe a like and reshare or anything else you want to. I'm done, sorry, bye.